After taking back-to-back Iranian strikes, Washington weighs reshaping its military footprint across the Gulf. US runs from Iran's missile threat as officials reportedly study safer regional basing options. Mission retreat. US weighs scaling back its presence at a key Gulf military hub after the war. From Saudi to Israel, Iran's missile reach forces Washington to rethink its entire regional posture. Iranian strikes on US military bases during the war reportedly prompted Washington to review the future of its Gulf military footprint, according to Wall Street Journal. US officials are reportedly considering a smaller military presence in the Gulf while relocating key assets beyond the reach of Iranian missiles. According to the Wall Street Journal, Israel was among the locations being evaluated for hosting future US military facilities and critical infrastructure. Satellite images reviewed by the Wall Street Journal reportedly showed extensive damage across the US Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain. The base, located roughly 240 kilometers from Iran, has long served as Washington's principal naval hub for operations across the Gulf region. The report said the strikes damaged command centers, pier facilities, warehouses, and at least 12 other buildings across the military complex. One US official reportedly said the 5th Fleet headquarters was no longer operational following the Iranian missile strikes. The Wall Street Journal said repairs to the 5th Fleet headquarters alone were estimated to cost approximately $200 million. Total reconstruction costs were reportedly estimated at around $386 million, excluding damage to military equipment and operational assets. A security forces training building was destroyed, while housing, dining, and emergency response facilities also sustained significant damage. The Wall Street Journal said some of the damaged buildings may never be rebuilt as Washington reassesses its long-term regional military strategy. Officials were reportedly considering underground command centers and a wider dispersal of military assets to improve survivability. The report said Washington was also reviewing its military presence in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia following the Iranian attacks. Amid rising tensions around Hormuz, another mystery strike has rattled global shipping routes, putting captains and insurers back on high alert. On June 25, a cargo vessel was reportedly hit by an unknown projectile in the Strait of Hormuz, adding a fresh incident to an already tense waterway. The UK's Maritime agency said the impact damaged the ship's bridge off Oman's southern coast, leaving visible scars but no immediate sign of who fired. According to UKMTO, the incident took place about 7.5 nautical miles southeast of Dahit, right along one of the busiest corridors for regional traffic. The ship's master reported no casualties and no pollution despite the damage to the bridge, a narrow escape that still underscored how close this came to disaster. UK maritime officials say the projectile has not yet been identified or attributed, leaving open the question of whether a state or proxy was behind the attack. In the aftermath, 3 vessels, including 2 major oil supertankers, reportedly abandoned planned Hormuz transits via Oman, choosing caution over risk. Notably, the attack hit just as oil prices were dipping and Hormuz traffic was edging back toward pre-war volumes, threatening to undo fragile market calm. Just a week earlier, on June 17, another ship was attacked off Yemen's coast, suggesting a broader pattern of strikes along the region's critical sea lanes. A commercial shipping vessel came under attack from armed assailants near Yemen's port city of Aden on June 17. The United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations, or UKMTO, reported the security incident in waters close to Aden. According to UKMTO, the confrontation took place roughly 105 nautical miles, or 194 kilometers, northeast of Aden, Yemen. United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations said, and I quote, UKMTO has received a report of an incident 105 nautical miles northeast of Aden, Yemen. A vessel has been approached to within 4 meters and fired upon by 2 skiffs with an unknown number of armed persons on board. The vessel has deployed security team and returned fire. The suspect skiffs have now disengaged and are in excess 4 nautical miles of the vessel. The crew are safe. Vessels are advised to transit with caution and report any suspicious activity to UKMTO, while authorities are investigating. End quote. Authorities have yet to establish which group or organization was responsible for carrying out the attack on the vessel. Earlier, 2 merchant ships were also reportedly targeted by armed skiffs operating off Yemen's coastline, according to UKMTO. Meanwhile, the IRGC Navy has ordered ships to use only Iran-approved transit routes through Hormuz, a move that tightens Tehran's practical control over who passes and how. The force said any transit outside officially designated shipping corridors is prohibited, according to Press TV. In a June 25 statement, the IRGC described the use of unauthorized routes as both unacceptable and potentially dangerous. The Navy said all vessels must coordinate with Iranian authorities before entering or transiting the waterway. The warning came days after Chief Negotiator Baghir Ghalibaf pledged what he called a new reality in Hormuz. Iran's parliament speaker said the crucial shipping lane would never return to its pre-war operating conditions. The issue of Hormuz restrictions remains one of the most sensitive unresolved matters, following the US-Iran Memorandum of Understanding. The agreement signed by Washington and Tehran seeks to halt the cycle of escalation, confrontation, and retaliation. Under the MOU, Iran agreed to facilitate commercial shipping through the corridor during a 60-day implementation period. However, Tehran has repeatedly stressed that safe passage remains conditional on coordination with Iranian authorities. The latest IRGC warning reinforces Iran's intention to strictly enforce those requirements and navigation conditions. Iran has installed its heaviest ever offshore oil platform in the Persian Gulf, a move that underscores both its technical capacity and its determination to work around sanctions pressure. The new P4 platform, weighing about 6,200 tons, was deployed at the Rishadat oil field roughly 90 kilometers south of Lavin Island in the Gulf. Officials say the structure was fully designed and built inside Iran, highlighting domestic engineering and manufacturing despite years of US-led sanctions restricting foreign technology. The P4 is expected to boost Rishadat's crude output by about 35,000 barrels per day, adding a significant new stream to Iran's offshore production. In addition, the platform can inject around 80,000 barrels per day of water into the reservoir, a key technique used to maintain pressure and sustain current production levels over time. Iranian engineers used a complex float-over installation method to position the massive topside on its base, reflecting growing expertise in advanced offshore construction techniques. Experts note that US sanctions delayed the project by limiting access to specialized equipment and know-how, stretching timelines and increasing reliance on local solutions. Iranian officials argue that completing the platform shows the country can adapt and ultimately defeat sanctions pressure by building up its own industrial capabilities. Since 2018, Tehran has increasingly leaned on domestic firms and engineers for energy development, from drilling and platform construction to subsea systems. The Rishadat upgrade represents a major boost to Iran's offshore oil sector, expanding capacity just as diplomatic conditions start to ease. Iranian oil exports have also climbed to a new high in the days following Tehran's recent deal with the United States, suggesting the country aims to capitalize quickly on any opening in the market.